Later in 1988, I'll tell you the exact words. This guy walks up to me and says, "So, you think we're ready to start our own convention?" And I said, "I think we could." That was it.
That basically proves my insanity.
Rules.
Yeah, rules. So in '89, we talked to a little hotel. We went to the Red Lion Hotel in our area and talked about doing function space, and it was way too expensive. So we went to the hotel right across the street, really tiny Holiday Inn, and for a couple of $1,000, we gave a couple of rooms. We didn't know if anybody would come and stay the night. We couldn't tell them, "Yeah, I thought your hotel was people." So we had about 60 people show up. I think we had 90 registered.
We had almost 100 registrations for the very first, and 65 people actually physically showed up, of whom about 35 instantly caught a 24-hour bug. And spent Saturday night.
Essentially, we did the same thing that science fiction conventions did. We sold supporting memberships. Little cheap memberships for $10 that you can convert if you were going to show up, but just prove you were supporting the event. And we'd send you like a souvenir book from the convention or something. So we had supporting members, we had attending members. The structure of membership you see in science fiction convention and party conventions is something that we started to help fund the convention. Because now we get into the logistics of the whole thing. Hotels are in the business to make money. They like people to show up who have some kind of a company account that can say, "We want all this function space, we want to get these rooms, we want to kick back on the rooms, and jack up the price of it to get a kickback, and here's our company credit card, you can run a credit check," and all that. That's what hotels are used to doing. Or people who do weddings for like $50,000 for a night. So we show up and go, "Well, we have this group of people, random group of people are going to give us $20 a piece, and we want to rent these, we want these function rooms." And the hotel goes, "Yeah, right." This is a big problem. You can't just walk into a hotel and go, "I want to run a convention." It's like, okay, show us your money in advance. So I was able to work with some hotels based on the idea that we would pay for the convention in cash at the end of every day. Because I didn't have enough credit to pay these places. And it worked. It actually worked. So,
well, it should be pointed out that, I'm not bragging here, this is just a simple fact. You financed Conference Zero entirely out of your pocket.
Yes.
I financed Conference One entirely out of my pocket. And after that, we were both broke, so at that point, they had better bloody well start financing themselves, and guess what? Fortunately, they did.
It turned out that if you dealt with the right hotel, once they got used to the way you're doing things, knowing the drill, once they got used to it, then they were much more willing to deal with people. One of the reasons why Hurricanes and other fan conventions like to stick with the same hotel.
You get them used to it.
Occasionally you'll see fans complain, "Well, I didn't get treated well at this hotel, they lost my reservation, and the elevators were dirty, and whatever. I said, we should get a different hotel next year." It's like, you don't know, because you're not talking to the people that have to negotiate with the hotel. We had hotels that loved us, that just after a while they go, "Hey, some of our big corporate deals fall through, and we get nothing. These guys always pay the bills." So they became fans of our kind of convention. We were able, even able in some cases, to have one hotel basically write us recommendations to a new hotel. But there are a lot of tricks that you have to learn when you do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Volleyball? I hope it's the volleyball people. I hope it's not us.
That's an Irish game.
Oh, okay.
You can't go, we're gonna have a convention a year from now. Give us some nice stars and make sure you have a whole year to plan this stuff. Or go to a hotel and get a contract with them and go, we don't do things a year out. 6 months out is about as far as they'll go. So if you wonder sometimes why people say, we're having a furry convention, we're having it during this month, but we don't know what dates yet, or what the venue is. And you go, well, those people are idiots. No, they ran smack into the same wall we ran into. The hotel will not talk to you unless it's 6 months out.
Well, we also, over the years, we've sometimes discovered that one thing you do not want to be is a great big hotel's very first science fiction convention. There's just some weirdnesses that you don't even think about when you have a Fanish type convention in a hotel. You go to a Fanish convention and there's people milling about all day, you know, going between stuff, and the hotel's like, wait, what's going on? What are all these people doing out here during the day? Because a business convention, you've got your conferences and the doors are closed and there's like crickets in the hallways and all this stuff's going on in rooms like this. And then, you know, you come to the end of that section of classes and everybody's milling about, and then the next class is starting and the hallways are empty again. And literally we had security people going, why aren't these people in the room?
Why are they hanging out in the lobby? You know? And it's an educational thing. We have to teach the hotel.
And then there's fursuits.
One of our best hotels, first year, you know, they took in reservations, and it's like they had to turn away like about 15% of the people because they overbooked. And I had to sit them down and say, if we do this again, don't overbook, because our people, when they say they're coming, they're going to show up. And if they don't, someone will be right behind them going in that room. So they learned, and after that, they never overbooked. They actually went around to the nearby hotels and said, we got a big convention in town. You want our overflow? And they said, sure. So nobody went out of the room the second year. Everybody got a room, you know, at the low rate. So you have to work with the hotel, and basically the con organizer, that's his hardest job. That's his hardest job. And a lot of times people don't know who does that. They're not a famous fur. They're not a poppy fur or a big celebrity thing. They're behind the scenes doing the work that has to happen.
Masochist.
People,
They deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah.
would go to conference and they had no idea who put it on, unless they went to the opening ceremonies or read the souvenir book. They wouldn't know that Robbie and I were the ones making it happen.
Well, I mean, to be honest, we didn't do quite the song and dance that a lot of people did. We weren't trying to be famous. We just wanted a bunch of people in a hotel to geek with for a weekend. So we didn't, you know, go, hi, we're Rodney, hi, we're Mark, you know, all that routine quite as much. So I should point out that Conference Zero, well, first off, we skipped over that bit again. We weren't quite sure. We were fans starting a convention who'd been going to convention for a while, so we weren't 100% certain this was going to work, you know, with a whole new fandom. So we called it Conference Zero because it was literally a test run. We weren't even considering it a convention at that point. We were just, we're going to open up a hotel, let's see if people show up, and 65 of them did. So we're like, oh, okay, phew. So Conference 1 came the year after that.